Hey, my name is Margaret Wong, and I'm here to talk about 601 and 601A waiver.
What is the difference between 601 and 601A waiver?
The law remains the same. 601 means that I want to get my green card. I have maybe a fraud issue, I have lied on my visa application, or I have a criminal issue that I may have 3 DUIs. There's certain criminal issues you don't need a 601. So anytime you have misrepresentation, you have fraud, you have a 10-year bar, you have criminal issues, it's all what we call a 601 waiver. 601A is a new thing. It's really not a law. It's President Obama started 601A because the whole thing about 3-year, 10-year bar. If I stay in America undocumented for more than 180 days, I cannot come back for 3 years. If I stay in America for more than 300, mind you, it's not 1 year, it's 360 days, 3 or 10-year bar. So then you cannot come back for 10 years. So what's a 601A waiver is anytime I have more than a 10-year, I cannot come back. That's why a lot of people say, oh, if I go back to Mexico, I cannot come back for 10 years. Oh, but you can do a 601A waiver. That law really started under Obama in 2013 because his thing is we cannot deport these people. If we keep deporting them, they keep coming back anyway. And remember, Obama also deported more than 3-4 million people. So it's not like he's a great president when it comes to immigration. So now he gave us 601A. He's saying that if we pre-approve the 601 when you're still in America, instead of waiting for you to leave the country, get the 221G letter, and now we file in a PO box and wait another 6 months to a year, then you can just go back, go to the visa call, go to get the doctor's report, and come back in less than 1 week. That's how we started 601A. So 601A is very much a new thing that started under 2013. And talking about 2013, DACA came in June 15th of 2012. So you have DACA 2012, 601A, 2013, and then you have 212 that started in November of 2018 or 2017, saying that now you have 212. So now you do 212 with or without the I-130 approval. You do the 601A with a fee bill of the $325 and $120 after the IV. Now you do the 601A. And now you go out to Mexico, Guatemala for the interview. Now you come back. So you don't have to wait for another 10 years or even 3 years or 1 year. You just come back within a week.
For what reasons would I be inadmissible?
Whew, there's a lot of reasons someone can be. Let me explain to you what is inadmissible and why would I be inadmissible. Admissibility means that I admit. If I stole a candy, I admit I stole a candy. But this is admissibility. That means how do you come to America? How are you admitted to America? How are you admitted to Central America? I mean, how do I get a visa to come, right? So inadmissibility is that why couldn't I go to America? So there's a lot of reason why couldn't I come. I have a criminal record. I have a disorderly conduct. I have a DUI. I have lied about not passing my exam and lied about passing it. Any material misrepresentation is a fraud. So anytime you have material misrepresentation, which means that it's a fraud, you need a waiver. So you inadmissible. So anytime you've lied, anytime your criminal record, minor or major, anytime you have changed your last name because it's a visa fraud, change my date of birth. Anytime I have, so you have fraud, you have criminal, you have, there's so many reasons that I couldn't come. So if I couldn't come to America, how could I make myself come to America? That's the question.
So we have a question here from the audience that says, are some reasons or reasonings easier to overcome than others?
Yes. And sometimes life is not fair. A lot of times when 601A first came in, it was very easily approved. It takes only 3 weeks, 3 months. But through the years, especially now with our new administration, sometimes it's taking more than 1 year on 601A. Years ago, when it first started, if you're Central American, it's a little bit harder than Mexicans. If you're Indians, it's a lot harder than maybe Chinese. If you're Korean, sometimes it's harder, sometimes it's not. So it really depends also on the country. But nowadays, it's taking a long time under this new administration. And so what's easier? So for example, I came to America in 1990. I went back in 1992. I came back in 93 without documents. And then I left again and I came back. Now that means you have no perm bar, but you have a material misrepresentation because when I went back, I came back with a visa, which means I never told them I was here because if you told them you were here illegally or undocumented, you couldn't get the tourist visa come. So that's a fraud waiver. That case may be more difficult than if I stayed here undocumented for 15 years. I only have maybe one driving record. I have no DUI, no other criminal record. I was only married one time. That may be an easier case. So sometimes, because I've been doing it for like 45 years, I got that gut. What may be a good case, what may be not as good as a case.
Here's another very common question from a lot of clients. How can I be eligible for one of these waivers?
It's actually all about qualifying relatives. You are eligible. Number one, I always like to argue, I don't need a waiver because especially if I have no qualifying relatives, you couldn't do a waiver. So the first thing whenever I see a case like that is I say, did I lie? Why did I lie? Why do you think I have lied? So I put them right back in the offensive. You think I lied, you tell me why I lied. And if I'm happy with the answer, I give them a waiver. But some immigration adjudicators are not that nice and they won't tell you. So we'll have to sit down with our clients and say, when did you apply for the visa? How many times did you come to America? In America, in China, or Mexico or Central America, what have you done? Did you not pay child support? Did you have criminal records you didn't tell me? So these are things that you know, are you eligible for a waiver, number one. So now you decide you need a waiver. Now you look at it and say, who are some qualifying relatives? As I said earlier in one of my presentations, we say non-immigrant visa, you can also do a 601 waiver, but that waiver does not need a qualifying relatives. So when I'm single, when I'm young, and I couldn't get my a tourist visa because I had a criminal record, a minor one, I could get a waiver. The time frame about 3.5 months to 9 months. And if it's Canadian, you have to go back to the border, take one fingerprint. Sometimes it make you go back, but if it's drugs, it may be a problem. But anyway, you don't need a qualifying relative. So when am I eligible for? First, decide if you need a waiver, or they can deny you a 214B. Second, now that I need a waiver, how could I get a waiver? That's when you need qualifying relatives.
Who counts as a qualifying relative for these waivers?
Qualifying relatives are people you need in your life that gives you that waiver. Without them, you would never get that waiver. And normally that's a US citizen or green card spouse or US citizen and green card parents. For some criminal record, you can use a child to do a waiver, but most waivers require a spouse or parents. So for example, I'm 35 years old. I'm alone. I'm the first generation who came to America. I have a theft offense. I have one DUI offense. I also had a minor marijuana with less than 30 grams. All right. So with this three, you need a criminal waiver. But I'm single, I have no children, and because I'm first generation, I don't have sisters and brothers who have a green card or citizen. I also don't have parents who have green card or citizen. In that case, even though your child is over 21 and he can sponsor you for a green card, And because you came illegally in America, you cannot get the green card because you don't have a visa stamp. And so in that case, you need someone to be paroled in America or to have a tourist visa to America, because then the child who's an immediate relative could sponsor you. That's one example. Can I do another example and you translate?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, good. Another example is, for example, I'm 55 years old. I came to America with an E2 visa from Mexico. I was married, but I was so mad at my husband that I said I was single. I have 2 children from, let's say, this husband that I'm estranged, because all they want is my money and they're like 25 years old. So when I came to America, I say I'm single, I have no children, but I got a legal e-visa. Do I need a waiver? Because I clearly have lied. Instead of saying I'm married, I say I'm single. Instead of saying I have 2 children, I say I have no children. My argument on that case, if they come and see me and say, oh, Mrs. Wong, I need a waiver, otherwise I couldn't get a green card, I say absolutely not. Because it is a misrepresentation. Mis means that I've said something that's wrong or different from the actual fact. Representation means that I have said something or signed my name to something that's clearly wrong. It's misrepresentation. Representation means I said something, right? Or I wrote something. But is that material? It's not, because it's my money. I came to America on an investment e-visa. Because I was estranged by my husband, I don't have to say I'm married. I could, maybe I've lied, I say single, but it's not a material lie. With or without a husband, I could have gotten my own e-visa. Did I lie about the children? Not really, because they were adults, number one. Number two is I'm not using them to get a green card. I only didn't want to accept that as my children because I'm very angry at my husband, and maybe they came from 2 rapes from, I don't know. But my argument is I don't need a waiver in that case.
Thank you for watching our video here with attorney Margaret Wong. My name is Stephanie Ayala. We hope you enjoyed today's topic. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Leave any questions or comments down below that we can potentially use for future videos. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. For more information about our law firm, check out our website at iamwong.com and feel free to schedule a consultation at 216-566-9908. Thank you.